This is already a business loss, but something we have to do to cooperate with the government's order for closure of food establishments. So what we can do is to bring this home and cook to be given to our families and some for donations to the health workers here in Vizcaya. So one thing you can be sure of is that when we reopen, hopefully on April 12, if everything goes well, is that we will have new stocks for everyone. Everything will be new, all our vegetables will be fresh, and all the sauces we will make again from scratch. And then we are closing the kitchen, fully sanitized. This is the last thing that we are doing now. Though we don't have work today in the restaurant, but I came to see my staff and all the things that might spoil or might go bad, especially the vegetables that will perish. First, I have to bring home this really big bunch of ginger and some spinach. And I don't know if I can do this, lifting it with one hand. I have a whole bunch of mint and a crate full of tomatoes and lemons for life, some red bell peppers, some prepped or cut up leeks, lots of carrots sliced and ready for cooking, and some celery, apples, more lemons at the back, mushrooms, and hopefully when we resume work in the restaurant, or even when I cook at home, I can still use them for a long time. And there are tricks and ways to prolong the life of your vegetables, which I will be showing you tonight. All these fruits and vegetables are lining up with that one dehydrator that I have there. Who needs more than one dehydrator anyway, right? Only in this moment when you are home quarantined and you have to keep these vegetables from getting bad. This lemon and ginger will be dehydrated, but I still have to cut them up and slice them and lay them flat on the sheets. We use them for a very special tea that we make in the restaurant that's called agave lemon ginger tea. And that means actually we don't really dehydrate it because we always use it fresh for garnish and in our salads. But this time I will have to do the same, just like what I did with the parsley. Here they are now, guys. So the first thing that went in the dehydrator was the parsley. These were parsley that were just being used in the restaurant for garnish. Since I'm home and I have the dehydrator going, I just dehydrated the whole sprig, and we can now cut it with the scissors or crush them with a food meal. So that's it. I can use this in my pastas and other dishes that needs parsley. So the next thing, together with the parsley, I dehydrated some moringa leaves. If ever I'm gonna make some mongo or inabraw, other vegetable dishes, local vegetable dishes, I can always use this moringa, or otherwise I can pass them on a food meal and use them as moringa powder. So with this moringa powder, guys, I want to show you this. This is the flatbread, which is vegan, no egg, no dairy, that we use for the cafe, and it is fortified with moringa. And then this is also one of my favorite things to make in the dehydrator. It's dehydrated lemon or any citrus fruit. I love dehydrating them because they are very useful in making really good, tasty drinks. Sometimes hot tea at night or even a refreshing cocktail. So I really love having this in the house. And also, we did some ginger. I think it was like one big tray, but I only dehydrated some, and some of the ginger are still here. In here, they're not gonna go bad in the coming days, so it's just fine to have them here. And I also have some ginger in the chiller. So I was guys wondering what happened with the ginger, but I forgot that I also made some pickled ginger. So I made 2 bottles of pickled ginger, and if you wonder what makes it red, it's the addition of the red radish. So you pickle together. I made some frozen spinach. So this is the spinach that I did. So it was a lot of spinach in the beginning, but when you steam them, blanch them I mean, and then compress them, take out the excess moisture, you will end up with just a little packet of spinach. And then I also cut up some beets there at the back, if you can see it there. I'll talk more about the beets later because there are ways on preserving beets. Some were cut up and I kept frozen, and some I also dehydrated. For the mangoes, I love having frozen mangoes in the house because I love making tasty drinks with fresh mangoes. The bananas, which I just cut up tonight for tomorrow's smoothies. Okay, so this is the frozen strawberry, and I'll talk about all those frozen stuff that I have here and how I use them up in some of the things that I make. Talking about the beets and the mangoes, or the fruits that you saw in the freezer. With the mangoes, I used them up when I made some buckwheat pancakes, and I made a mango compote with a little cocoa sugar. And to thicken it up, I like to put a little starch, and my starch of choice was tapioca starch for my compote because the sauce comes out really clear but thick. I also marinated some meats for tapa and bistec, which I can no longer show you now where they are because I've already cooked them. These are the grape tomatoes that's growing wild in my garden. If you watched the garden video, the garden tour, you probably noticed that this is growing abundantly in my garden. So this one I left here because we're still using this as sausawan, condiment, with a little bagoong or patis. So I placed them in the dehydrator also, and then after that, I soak them in olive oil. I also dehydrated some celery. Along with the celery also, I dehydrated a lot of oyster mushroom. But this is before the quarantine period started. So I already have this. This is shiitake. And this is the freshly dehydrated oyster mushroom. I've already used some when I made the oats caldo. It's an arroz caldo, which is typically made with rice or glutinous rice. But when I made it for breakfast, I replaced the glutinous rice with quinoa and oatmeal. And I also placed leftover chicken from the dinner the other night. And I used some mushrooms, both of these, shiitake and oyster mushroom. Next is the mint. I think I've set the temperature of the dehydrator too high because the mint discolored. It was actually my first time drying mint. So guys, if you know how to keep the color of the mint from turning too dark. Like, if you can help me, guys, let me know. Moving on with all the other veggies that I processed that night. So let's talk about this peppers. So first, crank up your heat on high, your open flame. You can do that in the charcoal, I guess it's more flavorful that way. So you broil. If you don't have an open flame, you can broil in the oven your roasted peppers until it's a bit charred. And then when it's charred, you place them all in one bowl and cover. So that way you steam the peppers inside. That's also one trick on how you can separate the skin of the peppers from the flesh. After you steam the bowl by covering it, peel the skin off and then just carefully have your a bowl of clean water to dip your hands so that you can really get rid of the seeds and the peel. And then there you have it, guys, your roasted peppers. These are the roasted peppers soaked in oil. And you guys know that anything that you preserve in oil, you can also drop in some herbs of your choice. Also with the daikon, or daikon pa English pa yun, pa social lang yun. But what they call daikon or pickled daikon is actually just the local labanos. No? So you can also pickle this labanos like a nachara, guys. And the last thing I did with the tomatoes is my pomodoro. I made two kinds of pomodoro. This pomodoro is Pinoy style, or just tomato guisado. So I just sauteed onion, garlic, and tomatoes, and that's it. I learned this from my staff in the restaurant. They usually make this as a condiment, as a side dish to anything that's fried, like fried fish or something like that. For this one, I prepared a big pot of boiling water, and then I dunked in some tomatoes, but not all of it, just maybe 10 pieces at a time, and wait for the tomatoes to blister. It means that the meat inside the tomato shrunk and the skin just burst, and it's an indication that it's easier to peel after. So what you do after that is take out the tomatoes from the boiling water and dunk them in ice water. So it's quite a long process, but it's something that is very important because I don't like tomato peel, which is very fibrous and just hard to digest in my pomodoro sauce. The peel will come off easily. See how easy is that? Akala ko wala nang katapusan. So after that, what I did is saute my pomodoro. This Italian style pomodoro uses an herb mix which we prepare in the restaurant, which is just equal portions of thyme, basil, oregano, and half of that portion for rosemary. Okay, so with the lemons, I dehydrated a lot of lemons. And then some I squeeze out and just put them in a bottle. This is actually my favorite. My first time to make it, and I will be making it over and over and over again in the future. This is candied lemon, but it's not the dry type of candied lemon. And then add in equal parts of by weight or just eyeball. I didn't really measure it by weight, but the same amount of lemon and sugar. So you just toss the slices of lemon in the bowl with the sugar, and in the beginning it will be crumbly. The sugar will still be crumbly and sticky, but not dissolved yet, or not syrupy. And then you pack them in glass jar and cover. You will notice that most of the sugar if not all, are already dissolved. So why do I love this? It's because you can easily make a fresh lemonade from this, or simply just infused water, but this will just have enough sweetness to flavor your drink. So if I remember, I think I made a very refreshing drink with strawberry, lemon, and Thai basil. Isn't that interesting? So yep, this is now my new favorite way to preserve lemon. With everything that I made here, a little goes a long way. Since I've taken so much time in making them, I'm sure I'm not gonna waste any of those roasted peppers or pomodoro. So if you still have some fresh vegetables in your home and you're still on quarantine, if you are wondering what to do with them so that they won't get bad or they won't get spoiled, I hope I was able to help you solve your problem. So till the next one, guys, stay safe everyone, and just enjoy home and family time. Bye! It's a one-pot dish. The same pot we use to toast our bread, cook our omelette, heat up our kani, and that's basically it. Hi guys! If you ask, hey Jehan, what's up? The answer is in this vlog.